I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes, a lot of.
Oh my God.
So can you kind of share like what's the difference between now and then, like maybe 80s,
Well,
90s?
I don't know if your listeners are actually going to appreciate that, because I'm divided right down the middle with that. In some ways, I think it's amazing changes for the better, and then some changes are just suck. Some changes are horrible, and I hate to say it, but I blame and credit social media for both, because in one way, I think that the community has come way out of hiding, which is great.
Yeah.
And that they're blessed that now they have this huge community. They're not alone anymore. They're not in shame anymore. They're not living in this horrific, dark place of shame and suicidal feelings and alcoholism and all kinds of terrible destructive behaviors that trans people were, when they thought that they were alone, that's what they centered toward. Right. So they've been freed. Yay. And all of these terrible habits are falling off, and now they're making friends and they're having events. Because I know, Shelby, you have a lot of events. I know that you've had a lot of like gatherings and stuff at the beach and clothing swaps before, and stuff. Yes. And so Shelby here gives people somewhere to go that isn't a bar.
Yeah, outside of.
And that's important, because sometimes some of us are in recovery and we want to socialize, but we don't want to go to a bar. Exactly. We don't want to hear where you have to scream at each other. Totally. And so to be outside at the beach or go to Dawn's for a clothing swap or something like that is
Super
wonderful.
Bowl parties.
She's been actually really important in that part of the community. So in that way, I think it's really helpful that social media has brought everybody out. And let's get rid of all that shame, and let's put on our fanciest dress and go out and go dancing. And now people aren't afraid to go to regular restaurants. And now people aren't afraid to go shoe shopping.
I was just telling Michelle that she just came out starting transition 2 years ago only.
That's all?
Yeah, that's all. See, that's all.
Oh my God.
So I realized like the newer generation girls, they are coming out fast, and then they are totally know what to do. Yeah. Like myself, you seen 10 years ago, I have no clue.
That's because there was no information out there.
And I would have been in the same place. I've had a few people that I've seen come out, and even in the industry that I was in nonprofit and in ministry, where some key people came out, and that just showed me that I could do it. And so back in the 80s, you didn't have that. There was no one that had come out. And everybody was still in hiding and fearful. And that's how I think it's funny that people say, oh, it's so trendy now. Everybody is becoming transgender. No, we're just talking about it now because we haven't been able to before.
I want to slap people when they say that. That drives me nuts. Oh, it's so in to be trans. No, it's not. That's bravery 101 that you're seeing. It's not trends or following anything. It's bravery.
I talk a lot on social media about it's not a choice.
It isn't.
If I had a choice, I would have not chosen this. I would still be with my family. I would have a relationship with my kids, and I would be doing what I would normally be doing. But I'm very happy with this now because it's who I am. But it's a costful, painful road.
I know. And I guess from a service provider's point of view, I hear, and I don't mean to diminish anything that you're saying. I have to be really careful not to do that. But I hear that story every day.
Yes, exactly.
Of how hard they fought.
Totally.
And what they had to sacrifice, what they had to give up.
Cost is great.
Some people are really lucky. And, do you remember TS Roadmap?
The website?
The one website that was like the first thing.
Yes, I do.
That Andrea James and Calpurnia Adams created this wonderful website called TS Roadmap. And I remember looking at that. I think when it first, I can't tell you the date that it launched, but it was around the time, and there was almost no information on it. But
the original stuff.
But the fact that there was a voice coming through a computer screen for someone to follow and to read. And I thought, okay, this is going to help me even as a service provider, because sensitivity and just knowing having a little bit more information to work with when a client comes and knowing how to talk to them. And now they're everywhere. Those websites come and go. They're up and down every week. It's a different one, and then they fold. But your original question about how the community has changed, I think that half of it has been a really great, positive, empowering change. Right. And the other half isn't so nice. And I think that narcissism and exhibitionism and vanity, and I've seen that a lot because I'm a makeup artist. And I'm kind of like, well, it's not really what I meant when I started. It wasn't about, I wanted to give people confidence, not egomania. I wanted to make
Interesting.
them feel good about themselves to where they could go out and enjoy their life. I didn't want to turn them into a duck lift selfie addict.
So what kind of clientele do you have right now? Like, because I kind of noticed probably like 10, 15 years ago are club goers, right? Because like that at that time that we only still have only clubbing to go in our little community.
Times
So
have
what
changed.
about now? Like
They've changed.
if people come to you, ask for your service, what do they planning to do?
I do about half and half. I do cross-dressers and I do trans women. Almost all of them are in their 40s. I have a very small percentage that are under 40. Most of them are older. Even I have one that's 82 or something.
Wow.
Who just transitioned in her 80s.
Oh my gosh. Good for her.
I know. It was just a wonderful story. Actually, it was because her wife died.
Oh.
That's what opened the
And
door.
it's so sad, but at the same time, she says, I'm just glad that I was able to come out before I died.
Oh my God.
I said, don't talk like that. And she goes, honey, I'm 82.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it could happen to me anytime. And I said, I'm so sorry about your wife. And she says, I am too. God bless her heart. She left me some of the best dresses I've ever seen. I said, oh my God. She goes, now I don't have to worry about going out looking for wardrobe. And I said, I'm glad that you could turn this into a positive thing. But my clientele has changed so drastically since I first started because, you met us. We were all these club tramps.
Yes.
And, it was Tiffany Amber Rhodes and Luann and all of us would get together and everybody had these hot pink short skirts and fishnet stockings and the big platform boots. Now almost that's not
I think
not at all. Yeah. It's older, sophisticated, usually highly educated trans women. I do get some youngsters every now and then, not very often, because I think that they started so young. When they started so much younger, the older generation, there's like a 25 or 30 year gap. To where I don't mean in their age, I mean when it was okay to come out.
Right.
So the kids that are out today, it's been okay to come out for the last 10 years or something, but before that,